At the end of the show, the opportunity presented itself again, and shout out first to Bombshell Ray, Rachel Bradley. I guess the secret's out now. It's actually the second time I went to meet him. Well, technically the first time that I actually spoke to him, but also the first time I spoke to Rachel, and to divulge on the conversation, basically. Met up and, shook hands, introduced myself. My name's Liam, really nice to meet you. She's a really lovely person, and she was like, basically said to her, because I listened to the podcast, because she, Titus and Fetus, three people. Well, if you listen to the podcast, that's, Titus, Bombshell, and Fetus, who do a podcast known as the Christopher Titus Podcast, also known as the Armageddon Update. And I guess that's a plug for another show. But I said, because I listened to the podcast, I've seen Titus, I've seen his specials, I've watched the shows, and I've come from Australia to see him, and do a few other things, that also to see Titus, and to also then go to New York and to see Seinfeld. It's like, oh my god, really? That's great. You're going out to see comedian, because getting into a bit of comedy myself. And it's not the craziest thing I've done, I guess, is jumped out of a plane just earlier today, and mentioned how the other day we're at Universal, and she was mentioning how she has a great view over Universal, to which I pretty much joked, it's like, then you probably saw us there then. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. No, but then it sort of segued over to Chris, who was pretty much where Rachel pretty much, dragged me over. It's like, Chris, this is Liam. He's come from, he's come all the way from Australia just to see you. He's going to do the comedy tour. He's, he's seeing you, and then he's going to New York to see Seinfeld. And he looked at me. He's like, really? You came all the way out just to see me? It wasn't
twice.
Well, now you know. So now you probably think I'm really nuts. I'm part of the sorority now. But it was almost like, at first it was like, really? You came all the way from Australia just to see me? When it's like, almost like, what are you, crazy? But it's like, well, I guess that's a fan, hey? It's like, then pretty much, reiterated, because she said, because he's gonna see you and then see Seinfeld, and then he actually mentions that he's looking at some point to come out to Australia, and we got into a bit of discussion about what some of the, because mentioned coming into a bit of comedy, and earlier the day, it's not the craziest thing I've done, jumped out of a plane. Well, it didn't literally jump out of a plane and come straight here, but that would have been pretty cool. And got a bit of a laugh out of him as well. Just it was, we were talking about comedy clubs in Brisbane and around Gold Coast, which because from Queensland, and mentions how there's a number in Brisbane, there's a few down the Gold Coast, and they're good places to go to. But did mention to Rachel, and also said to Titus, that maybe if you come to Australia, that someone else should drive, because if people don't know by Titus's reputation, he's a rev head behind the wheel. He's quite an angry driver, and rightfully so. When you get Prius drivers on the road, there's a reputation over in America. But yeah, had a nice, just lovely discussion with Titus, and yeah, by the end of it, thanked him for his comedy, and then got the video, just a short video, because I mentioned how my mother, who was a big fan of Titus as well, and just to, because I did promise her that I'd get a brief video for her, and I'll also pop that up.
Okay. Go. It's on.
Hey, it's me, Liam. I'm here with Titus and Bombshell Ray.
Hey, Mom. I want to tell you, we are coming to Australia. Mom. Hey, Mom. Sorry, I got it wrong.
It's Mom, yeah?
And I just did English. Sorry, I'm trying. We're going to be in Australia coming up, and now that we have a place to stay, Liam said we could stay with you.
Yay!
So, yay! We can
We're going to finish renovating the house.
I like waffles. So when we get the next morning, I like waffles.
I need gluten-free.
What do you call waffles in Australia?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So it's the same.
We call them the square bread.
We need a lot of square bread.
All right, Mom. Love you.
Love you.
Thank you.